Why do you think they might be going a bit quicker than usual?
Because they're coming off that.
Exactly.
Probably not used to the speed limit or something.
That's it. Now, it's quite a short slip road at the end here, but it is a slip road. It's about as long as the one we did earlier, just. So we need to make sure we're in the right gear so that when we put the foot down, the car does move. So if you're in 4, I would go 3rd here. Okay. Being 3rd. Just have a look over, signal on so they can see it. Have a series of looks here. Plan your spot. I'd be after the red car. Look for the length, no rush. See what I mean? You could use all that if you needed to. Well, within reason. You don't want to be driving over that crap at the end, but you see what I mean? Now, how did you find that?
Well, it was still longer, so it was easier. Because that other slip road was super short.
There's more to it, and there's cars coming off.
The visibility was quite bad.
On the other one?
Yeah.
The one previous, yeah, because it's uphill. So we're going to be on this road for about 3 miles now. And the signs that we're following is green signs for Long Eaton and M1.
M1?
Let's say M1, because that's the direction we're going, so let's keep it as that. So we'll be on here for about 3 miles. So if you could show me how you'd make good, safe, reasonable progress based on the road and traffic conditions today, that would be awesome, and then I can help you from there. If you see any weaknesses or whatever, or areas for development. You okay with that?
Yeah. Just saying, I may forget that I'm following signs and miss it. Because that usually happens.
Okay.
Just giving you a warning.
Best thing is to bookmark in your mind every single sign you see. Process of elimination then. So I saw a yellow sign up there. I don't think it's a road sign. See it? There's a P sign behind it. There's a national sign. This is how you don't miss any signs ever. You keep clocking every single one, but in advance. Tell me when you see the next one as soon as you see it.
That snapping one?
That's it. I beat you to it, didn't I? Let's see if you can beat me to it.
Okay, not fair. You can see it better because you're on that side.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And what sign are you following for again? Long Eaton and M1, it's signposted both. There's one. There's one.
Oh, is the way. It's quite dangerous to be coming off of that.
Sorry?
It would be quite dangerous coming off of that. I probably just wouldn't park in the first place.
It's dodgy, yeah, it requires a lot of skill, and again, that's quite an advanced thing to look at.
Sign it next to the road.
That's it, you got it. How long? Just so you can sort of plan in your mind? Half a mile, yeah. And then you're looking for the 300-yard marker then, and then you know, start signalling and consider how long the slip road is or what the traffic's doing in front. You see any sign?
Kind of braking, I think.
Slowing down, are they?
Or at least piling up. Yeah, I was going to say that traffic moving in the last second. Traffic signal.
Yeah, let them know. At the roundabout, we'll be turning for the M1. So we need the lane for the M1. You can see the next sign, can't you? Tell me when you see another sign. Well, that one.
I need that one.
Okay, yeah.
That one.
It's M1 south we're going, so we're heading in the correct direction. Agreed? it's got M1 North, M1 South. You said something about gaps in distances earlier, so you could read the road.
Well, it's all kind of rubbed off anyway, so.
So it's this one. So if you've gone right, you've got to go right to right, yeah? So M1's still which lane? Still this one. Ease off. So you've got time to look, time to see the lights. M1 South, yeah? Still the correct lane. I think it was a bit quick coming down that hill. You know, just saying that you never turned this direction at this roundabout before. You just be a little bit steadier, a bit more time to not just see the information but interpret it. Now,
wouldn't it be kind of dangerous to go too slow though?
Oh yeah, definitely. We just got to get it just right. You was going to go into the lane 2 then, but there could have been something already there. So M1, what we're saying, M1 South, this middle. Is that the one you was going to do? And
I just meant it's turning forward.
You okay?
No. This is very confusing.
So we've spiralled because we've passed an exit.
So in that case, I would mainly be looking at the road markings.
Yeah, if you know it's coming.
Because that one just says the direction, right?
Be looking at where, yeah. Sometimes though, it's got the M in the middle lane. It shows lanes and the big sign. So M1 South. Then are we okay in this lane? No spirals, has there been? It's still okay, yeah. M1 South.
Oh, okay.
And it's 2 lanes to exit. Agreed.
So
Left signal on. Yeah. See what I mean? Keeping yours. Anything follow, does it?
Is this the motorway then?
It certainly is. Get in the habit of checking the door mirrors as well. I've noticed sometimes it's a bit missing, especially if you've been holding back. You know, if you've been holding back behind a car and then you move out.
Yeah.
Because would you see a bike if it was already at the side of you? So you need to check them door mirrors as well. Right, now, if we get too close to the van, we won't have many options in terms of merging.
So I'll keep quiet.
I would, because then you can speed up, can't you? You know, like you did earlier, sped up to create. Was that you? Or was that an earlier lesson today? Sped up to create space. But you've got options to do that here, more so than what any of them guys have in front of you. Because they're like carriages on that train. What did you call it? The human herd following each other. Herd animals, yeah. Yeah. As long as this gap isn't ridiculous, I think this is reasonable at the moment. And they're all entering very early. They don't have to, so remember that. There's a long, you know, we don't leave it too late either. We do get their signal on to let them know, or else they might not be. Speed up here a bit if you want to create space. That's it. And then at your luxury, gently ease across. Okay, we've got the yellow cameras there. Do you know what they're for?
Nope.
It's an average speed check because of the roadworks. We've got the orange, the fluorescent stud markings on the floor. Do you know what that is for?
Is it specifically for roadworks?
It is, yeah.
It's just the new lane dividers, or?
Yeah, just temporary ones. So what's your speed limit then, Ari?
50.
That's the one. And it's going to be potentially difficult to stay at 50 when everybody starts whizzing by doing more than that. So what would be a good tool to keep? Yeah. Probably best to get established first, because we've just come off a major slip road and all different cars are establishing themselves in, you know, whatever they want to do really, depending on the lane, depending on what they're doing.
Is this the M1?
It is the M1 South. Southbound. So if you go in towards London and stuff, this is the way you'd come from where we are really, in Derby, in case anybody's watching who's wondering.
So why are they going at the same speed, but they're in the overtaking lanes?
Well, there shouldn't really be much overtaking right by anybody at these phases, because if we're all doing 50 when we're doing the same speed as the slow movers, the lorries.
So it's just basically to keep the traffic going.
Yeah. everybody got in the left, we might as well use the space. You know, it would be okay to keep the speed going, as long as you don't think they're going to move across into you. Do you know what I mean by undertaking? So there is times when undertaking is legal, and sometimes necessary. Have we spoke about being in other people's blind spots before?
Yeah. That's why I hold back from my car.
Good stuff. So when you're ready, I mean, if you want to have a play with that sat nav, it's probably better to do it while we're still restricted to the lower speeds actually at the moment.
Should we just set it to about 45?
Yeah, set it at 45, and then if you want to speed it up, you can always click it up again, can't you? Click, click, you know.
There.
That's it. That's it. And if you want to just practice pressing that tip, just so you're used, not the indicator. Yeah, it's all right, don't worry. Yeah, so that's disabled. If you press it again, it'll speed you back up to the speed you set last. If you
It's
want
like a little robot driving me.
It is, yeah. You know, when I'm at high speeds for long distances, I'll then move my right foot from the accelerator, but it's never far, because if I anticipate danger, I'm covering the brake and I'm covering the tip of that, which is the same as coming off of the gas. The real danger is here as well, when you change from the left lane to the middle, if somebody changes from the right to the middle at the same time, could both meet in the middle. It's a little bit more complex than just having two lanes, which is the usual on an A road, although there is A roads near Derby with 3 lanes, which has been quite handy until the motorway stuff come in for me in terms of practicing with learners. So what do you think the roadworks are for?
Are they making it wider?
Are they? I reckon so. Yeah, adding another lane.
Soon there's going to be no trees.
I know, it's they keep cutting a load down. I believe it's for this 5G network that they're. Have you heard about it? It's criminal, yeah. I don't like it, do you? When I keep seeing trees being cut down. So what did you do to disable it? Just pop your clutch in?
I brake first.
Okay.
Because they were slowing down, so I just had to brake a bit.
We'll see how we get on. I'm not sure on destination, really. I didn't plan a destination because I thought it might work on other bits and bobs as well.
I think it's best to just get on the west for now.
Do you? With the other bits, yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to seem rushed and squeezing too much. And
It would really. That's realistic.
light closure.
Yeah.
No one saw that.
What did you press?
The indicator. Is it still pressed? Is there a button?
It's. I think it takes you to some sort of menu. If your telephone's connected, yeah, you can make a call through just pressing the buttons on the steering wheel and
It says cruise on, it's 46, but it doesn't go up on.
that. Sometimes you'll be set at 30 and it'll.
Just slightly incline.
Yeah, that can affect it. So if you press the down button, you know, because we're gaining on the blue. That's it. You feel that? Just ease off slightly, just to maintain that gap. Now, sometimes on motorways, what happens is when you're in a particular lane, it can all of a sudden just naturally veer off into a different direction. So we've got to be really up to date with road signs. If we had a destination, of course, we'd be mindful of where we're going. But if we don't want to branch off to a different direction, we might need to get into another lane. And where do you think you might see the information?
Above?
Exactly, and at the sides.
Oh, better not get distracted by pretty planes.
Yeah. I would imagine it's quite loud as well if you're underneath that. you could close it slightly, it would still be okay. What sort
As
of
long as I don't come in that one blind spot.
Yeah, so
2 seconds? No?
yeah. And that's a minimum, isn't it? 2 second time gap. So if you've got a little bit more, that's fine. As long as you do the speed limit, it just means there's a bigger space in between you. If somebody's really close behind me, I'll leave a 3 second gap in front. Do you know, does that make sense as to why I do that? Why do you think?
In case they brake suddenly, you have more time to stop instead of being squashed between them.
I don't want to be the meat in the sandwich, do I? So it'll give me more time to control them behind me with my braking if I've got a bigger gap, because they won't have as much time to react. So check is this lane going to continue? Is it a slip road? It looks like it continues. You see?
Yeah. It's like that one's
So we would have to consider, is this now our new left-hand lane, or is it going to go off in a different direction? If it is our left-hand lane, what are we thinking? For normal driving, like you told me earlier. Can we look to move over to the left? However, we've got A42, we want the M1 though, don't we?
Yeah. So I'd have to move over.
You've got it. Good stuff. Worth having a quick double take like you did, because if he suddenly changes his mind, no signal, wants to come into this lane at the same time, you know? And that's why having that gap in front's important. It allows for those checks. What do you reckon about this van? Wise move.
He was like bullying me.
Yeah. So you see the overhead signs there, but it'll confirm it again up there on the next one. Just pop yourself into fifth just to relax the engine, be a bit more eco with it. Not as much demand on the engine then. So which direction are we going based on the overhead gantry there?
South.
Yeah.
Of the M1.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go to the A42,
Move over there.
yeah, that's it. I've been caught out no end with these. When you're not paying attention, you end off somewhere completely different. But it's a bad mistake to make on a motorway, because unlike A roads, there isn't slip roads every couple of minutes. There's some of them, there's big mileage in between, you know.
Yeah. That's why people stress so much to get out and cause a crash. I'm guessing.
So what are you thinking now? That lane's gone off. What are you thinking?
Over.
Yeah. So start studying that a bit more before it's actually time to change lanes. You know, because we had to sort of readjust with the speed for the white one. I'm glad you spotted it. So I'd set the cruise control now.
Cruise control, not the...
That's it. And just sit at 50. We've got a nice gap. These lot can do what they want. We've got enough room to just continue to do 50. Set that up one more to 50. Just down one more. Sometimes what it does, if you set it at 50, it'll make it a 49. Anything coming up this slip road then, Ari?
Not yet.
And we need to have a look out for when this 50 stops. So you see here, you're going to ultimately end up undertaking. The other option is brake, but that could upset everything behind us. So as long as it seems reasonable, you know, your lane is naturally moving faster than theirs, isn't it?
So would it be technically safe as long as I look out for them?
Do you see why the roads get clogged up? None of these are using the road correctly, not one of them. If all them in the middle should be in the left, and all them in the right then should be in the middle. Solid white line. So I believe it's changed to national now. There's no more evidence of those road signs, is there? And I think when we were talking, I think we both missed that. I said to you, we need to keep a lookout for that. But I think, yeah, just missed it. But it was quite noticeable. How is the road different now to what it was?
So the cars aren't as what's the word for it?
Making progress.
Yeah.
fluorescent studs anymore, there's no yellow
I
cameras.
mean, the roadwork difference.
Yeah, exactly. So there'd be no reason to have a temporary speed limit in place. Right, so show me how you'd make safe, reasonable progress based on today's conditions, traffic and road conditions.
Would I be technically looking to overtake that one because it's going
Yes.
really slow?
That one will be overtaken by buses and lorries, which will make it dangerous on the road, cause congestion.
But there's quite a lot behind us.
Well spotted, so yeah, you'd only
And
move.
there's not really a spot there I can get into.
I agree. They're all coming. They've got reasonable spaces between them behind us, but they are coming with conviction, and yeah. And I like what you've kept here because you can accelerate into this gap. I'd go after this black one, signal on now, start getting the foot down, making it faster, 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 checking as you go in, double checking if you need to. Just so that fuel's being sent through into the engine, the power's starting to build up, and then you can really just get on it at the right time, not be slightly late with it. Do you see what I mean? So it's planning and plotting and saying, yeah, that's the gap for me. I think it might change.
If we're only going 63 but we're gaining on the lorry, should we stay here or should we change over now?
The answer is do 70 and then assess. Always look to do 70, or else it'll make things a bit more difficult than it needs to be. Now, if you aren't gaining on the silver and you're doing 70, then move to the left. So that's how to know. That's how to know if you should move back or not. It's not really acceptable to be sitting at those speeds unless there's a reason. If you can justify it in your mind because you see something cracking up, fair enough. Of course, you know, that makes sense. Right, so back up to 70 then, because all that good stuff we just did, we're going to end up getting overtook again by what we just initially overtook. So always trying to keep it 70, and it'll really, it'll make you plan really well. Or else you'll keep getting boxed in, you see. You'll move to the left, you'll get boxed in. But if you... So that's not doing 70, is it? So that's kind of... It should be. So it's making things a bit awkward for us to get out.
So we can either overtake or... Well, unless we move.
That's it. That looks fairly steady, that burgundy one behind us. What do you think? If you signal, I don't think it would come.
So should we also...
No. Let's get the speed up and then let's assess. Keep going. Now that one's going to look and it's going to read your speed, just like we did to that burgundy one behind us. If it sees you slowing down, it'll move. If you think it's going to come because it's not seen you, of course do what you just did, but there was no evidence to suggest that then, if you see what I mean. So try and keep that speed, try and keep it coming basically. It's a bit like when you slow down, there's a pedestrian in front of you, they're going to step out, aren't they, because they think you're slowing down for them. So, for the next phase, shall I give you some instruction as to what I would do next?
Yeah.
Happy with that? You sure?
Yep.
Right then, so, let's get the speed up. 63, we could be doing 70. Let's ease off for the van, checking the middle mirror and the right mirror. We're going to be overtaking in no time at all. Back on the power, the Ranger in front's leaving us, the Ford Ranger that is. That white van might move out. Check your escape route. And it did, it popped a signal on lock. So ease off now because we blocked in on the right arm where we can't come across. Starting to just feed that power back in slightly as to not drop back from the van too far. The burgundy car behind us is gaining, and after these cars pass, it might move around as well. Looking in the right mirror, keeping that speed up. After the white Peugeot coming, maybe. Oh, that's good, so we can do 70 now. Let's get the speed right up to 70. Be careful, because the Peugeot that's passing could do the same as the 4x4, and he might misjudge us speeding up. See what I mean? So they're not moving a bit earlier than they should do because we weren't initially doing that higher speed. Now, so keep that speed going all the way, because they're still leaving us. That's it. And hold us at around 70. 68 86 good, 72 big, excellent. Don't worry if it flickers to 71. And then we'd be looking to move back in. So keep your speed up as you're doing everything, or else all that good work you've just made, all that progress, will lose it. Fantastic, good stuff. Checking your mirrors now. The next thing is the red car. It's an obstacle for us. That's how you want to think of it. We've got the burgundy car still in the middle lane, yeah? As long as you keep your speed up, I don't think it'll bother us. But I reckon, oh, we've got brake lights, so check them mirrors again. Pop that signal on. Yeah. Ease off, ease off, ease off, ease off. It's bad planning from the burgundy car. We've got to come across now. Bad planning. They've been hesitating, holding back all that time, and when we really needed them, they just closed the gap because that truck's slowing down for some reason. See, they're endangering when somebody's not going fast enough on these roads. So speed back on. And no, because we're doing 60. So let's make progress and then decide. That's better. Now we can judge what should we really do based on the fact that we're doing what we should be doing. Yes, definitely now that one's gone. Just keep that speed the same. Checking your mirror for the next obstacle. What's the next obstacle? The white van, yeah? We've got brake lights in front of the white van, so you can predict what the white van might do. Exactly. Although it has dropped back. Checking your mirrors a bit more and your right one. Just seeing what's around, anticipating what we might have to do shortly. After the white one.
Well,
I would. Speed back up. We might need to use lane 3 to overtake these because I don't think they're quite doing 70. They might now, they might speed up. Also we're going downhill, so just bear in mind that might take you over 70. When I said don't worry about 71 earlier, I'm not saying speed, I'm just saying it's easy to just ease off it and just get back to 70, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's not a major issue really. When you're using, you know, real life common sense. Come more centre of the lane. If you see that one, initially it was further over to the right. It's probably because we was a bit more closer to that dividing line in the middle there. Back on the gas, back to 70, the black one's leaving us. So regular glance at the speedo. I'd be looking to move in after the lorry, because there's a big gap there. Next obstacle is the blue one, keep 70. White one's going to move out. Then we've got the BMW behind us. Is that going to have passed? Yes, I think it will. So it's better to stay here. That's it, easing off just slightly, signal on as it passes. Back on the power. Keeping that speed going. A bit more punchy on the power. That's it. And easing off just as we get towards 70. Now, if you're concerned about lane positioning, you could check your left mirror for the gap between the paint and the car there, right mirror for the gap between the paint and the car there, and you could average it out. The more you check, the more you'll kind of get used to how that should feel and look. Back on the power then, just so we've got some things that could be overtaking us. Just to drop to 65 and everything gains. Could use cruise control, but we're kind of on and off quite a lot, aren't we, at the moment? I think if it's quieter sometimes it can be better. Back on the power. Those extra 3 miles an hour will make quite a big difference. Bear in mind as well, the bigger the vehicle, the bigger their blind spot usually. So that one kind of did what you were doing, really. It's moved into the left and then it slowed down. You see how that affected you? tendency to keep easing on and easing off though. So stick at 70. If we start gaining, let's pass them, because they're not. I mean, they're kind of changing position a lot as well. I reckon they're slightly distracted. See what I mean? So look for clues like that, because if you see evidence of that, you don't want to be anywhere near them.
Yeah.
You want to, I mean, really, you want them in front of you, not behind you. But on a road like this, you can leave them in the dust, really. You know, they're definitely doing something, aren't they?
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing?
Texting, phone, whatever, YouTube.
Probably, yeah. So here we've got all the services that's coming up. We've got a welcome break in 2 mile, and I think we'll take that. So we're looking for signs for the welcome break in 2 miles. It's a service station, okay? What colour sign are you looking for? Blue. And what's this bit on the edge here?
What do you mean, the hard shoulder?
Yeah, that's it. What does that blue sign mean there? What we got coming up?
Several joining us.
Yeah. One's going to turn into a lane, and the other one's going to cut it. Well,
So I want to move because I'm going to be coming out.
only if you need to.
Well, before 2 miles. I mean.
Exactly, so it wouldn't be a great idea. And you said to me earlier about easing off is a better thing sometimes, and yeah, that's worked nicely, hasn't it? So we knew that's going to continue into a lane. Your welcome break's coming up shortly. What are you going to need to do?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Love the sound of my own voice, don't I?
It's okay to
When we get into it, there's going to be lots of different options for coaches, lorries, cars. So we're looking for signs and markings for cars to get to the car park. You see it?
So is this where
That's it. So be looking for those 300-yard markers back there, tell you that it's coming up. This could sharpen up quite a lot, so just make sure by the time we get to that little sharp bit just here, everything's taken care of. Gear speed. I'd go third, clutch up. That's it. Easy, easy. So we just need time to, a bit like them roundabouts, time to look, time to see. We're looking for cars. Okay. See it? See what I mean? So you got, when you're in new areas, try not to let yourself go too quick. Car park, what are we saying? Yeah, that's it. Nice and steady, slowing it down, looking for somewhere to park, thinking about your car park gears. That's it, give it a signal, because there's people behind you, they could cut you up on the inside. Let's get to that quite a bit over there. And be slow enough here, give yourself time to plan and plot where you're going to park. Nice, and breathe. How did you find that?
It was okay, just all those things that you said, just keeping up with the speed, make sure I don't drop too much.
Would you say that was the biggest challenge?
Yeah.
Was that different to the way that you've tackled A roads in your previous training, in terms of the intent to make progress?
I think it was a little bit different though, because on A roads you can only do the max speed, whatever it is, either 50 or 70 for a short period, because usually there's quite a lot of traffic. So here it was a longer period to keep up that 70.
Yeah.
So that was different.
Yeah.
Well, at least from what I've driven on A roads anyway.
Yeah, there is opportunity to, but
not for that long anyway.
Not for that long. If you head towards Nottingham and you go down from Derby to Nottingham, you can make progress there. But I know a lot of instructors, what they'll do, they'll just focus mainly on, you know, the Rangeway bit, the ring road that turns into the A6.
Yeah.
So there isn't always a lot of, because as you say, it drops 15 parts, so it doesn't give a lot of options. How do you feel? How do you feel about it? What we've just done? And is there anything that you want to go over more so now that we're stationary, we've got the opportunity to?
I'm not sure, is there anything you would want to point out?
Not really. At times I felt like I might have been over instructing.
No, it was, yeah, because your instructions made sense because I knew what I was supposed to look for. Like the new obstacles and my escape route and whatnot.
How would you, well, we can't go back yet because we're going to follow signs for the exit shortly, and then we'll get back onto the same road. But what we'll do is we'll come off at an actual exit, so we'll locate an actual, once we're back on there, we'll locate an exit, and that will bring you to a slip road and there'll be a roundabout. What we'll do, have a guess which way we'll turn at that roundabout to go back home.
Wait, does this service area end up in a roundabout?
No, it'll end up back onto the M1.
Oh, and then you mean at the end of wherever we're leaving the M1?
And then when we get on the M1, we'll look for signs for an exit, and it'll be, you know, whatever. But there'll probably be a roundabout at the end of that slip road when we exit the roundabout. Once we're back on it.
Probably first exit. I'm not sure.
It'll be a U-turn all the way back around the roundabout. Let me show you how they work.
So we're back on the M1 to go the way we came from.
Back down the same road.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So when it's like that, there'll probably be spirals. We won't want to spiral at the first spiral, usually. Because if we do, we'll be in the left-hand lane one too early.
So you mean stay
Usually.
in the right?
Yeah.
Whichever lane we're in.
We can always, worst case scenario, we can always go back round the roundabout. You know. Or we can come off. So that's a tip as well. If ever you're in the wrong or you've missed an exit, if you're in the right, you can keep going round.
Okay.
So that's it really, just to bring you up to speed with what we're going to do. While we're at the service station, do you need anything?
No, unless you need to.
No, I'm okay really. Alright then. So we'll get going when you're ready. What do you think about your speed coming up that slip road? Coming round towards this bend? Well, not really the bend.
The bend was okay, but I could have slowed down before it more, I think. Or was it too fast?
Actually, I thought it was reasonable.
It's probably a bit too fast on that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have went into the lorries.
Yeah.
Identity crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bit like, you know, on those bar roundabouts, like just ease off a bit.
Yeah.
Just get yourself a bit of time to. If you're going to think about something, you've got to see it first. If it's something you're about to deal with, so you've got to see it, and then you've got to have time to think, and then decide what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So you've got to give yourself time for them to happen.
And so it's one way, right? So we're going to go
It's
there.
going to be, yeah. But well,
so I can just reverse like that and then go, right?
yeah. You actually got those arrows.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
coming around here.
Now, if you think as you go around this car park that a signal would help somebody to make a decision as to whether to cross or not to cross, just give a signal. Or a car that might, you know, want to do the same.
Yeah. Since I can't see who's coming there, I'll just sit on there.
Yep. Nothing wrong with
in case someone pops out like that.
exactly. Nothing wrong with alerting them sooner, is there? Really, as long as we're not confusing people. always expect others to make mistakes as well in places like this. Expect people to do really silly things, and pedestrians.
Like that one, not looking at all.
Yeah, like he's not looking, he's
About to go on the motorway.
signal left here. That's it.
Go on, faster. Oh, gosh.
Strange, isn't it? Strange mentality.
He's just like purposely keeping eye contact but still walking slowly.
Yeah,
Things do.
it's strange, isn't it though?
Wait.
It's strange.
Oh no, it's not right.
Yeah, if you're in doubt, just slow it down a bit so you've got time to look and see. Have a look at where you're going to drive before you get there. I'd have a look over there, I would. Quick look back where you're going. See what I mean? So you've got a bit of information there. Early doors sort of thing, yeah? Alright, what we're saying then, cars, exit.
There.
Okay, and we don't want fuel, do we? We want the exit, so...
Yeah.
Any other information though? We could go various HGV fuel this way as well. Keep going. You see that little thing there? Around the side here.
Yeah.
That's it. Check left here, make sure nobody else is coming back over. To be honest, that's not very clear.
No.
I've been
not
round
at all.
there. I've been round there before, I thought, huh? But yeah. Blue circles telling us we must go this way. Good check. And then we've got the road. Shall I leave you with it?
You could,
So a bit more power.
yeah.
That's it. Bit more power, bit more power, bit more power. That's it. Check in and going. Would you like me to... We'll come off for the next exit, by the way. Would you like me to keep guiding you throughout this course?
Yeah, I think it's best.
Just keep guiding you.
That's what we're here for anyway.
Exactly. As long as you're, you know, I've got a thing about over-instructing. I've got a what do you call it? A hang up about over-instruction. So I'm really mindful of it. But yeah, I'll just keep.
My driving, like the last driving instructor, was under-instructing sometimes, so it kind of left me to do my own thing. So
Yeah, that's usually.
that's not always helpful.
Yeah. 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 So coming off for the Birmingham, Coventry, and Leicester. Okay. You notice that we've got the small road markings here. That's it. The road's going to
So
branch.
we're already on the exit now.
That's it. Also, in case you ever think you've missed it, you're still on the motorway, there's normally always a second road that comes off, do you see? So that mini, if you wanted to...
Last chance.
Yeah, you could still come across. So at the roundabout, we're going to turn right. So what lane do you think? Yeah. It's okay. No worries. Drop the gear. That's it, to third. Have another look. And turning right, so what lane?
All the way.
That's it. So we're turning right, getting back onto the motorway. And it should be M1 north, shouldn't it, if we're coming south?
So this is spiral, did you say?
We've got to see. Okay, there's a spiral line, so yes.
So am I wanting to move over there?
M1 north. M1 north. Okay, we're fine, aren't we? All I was saying earlier is sometimes you might be better to stay there one more. It depends on how big the roundabout is, I've found. You okay in the lane you're in? If you leave a gap between you and the van,
God's sake, is they're all wrapped up.
and now it should be in line with that next one, look. Yeah? See it? M1 north, got it? So, just ease off just briefly. Follow it around.
So now I'm naturally into left lane.
That's it. So
Is it
we've
spiraled off?
You've got it. You've got it. And M1 north, yeah.
No, it's telling me that it's a lane game.
Good stuff. So looking quite busy either side, aren't we? So what I'd do, in fact I'd do everything you're doing right now, I'd get a right signal on, because our lane going to merge across. Do we need to get our foot down? I think we should anyway. Is it worth checking if he's changing lanes? Don't be moving across, do we? Alright, so from 3rd to 5th, lock change. Checking. Yeah, that's great. Checking right mirror, left mirror. Just getting established really now, as is everybody else, so expect regular lane changes. Again, checking the left, checking the right. Should we be thinking about what lane we're in, or are we about to make progress? Got brake lights in the left, look. We've got slow movers in lane, so the lanes go lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4, always. I think we should at the moment, because nobody's making progress. Before you check like that, get your signal flashing a couple of times, and then start the mirror checks, because okay, we've got one signal and there's 200 yards away, so this must be in. Okay, we've got the welcome break. It's the other side of the same services.
So we shouldn't have moved across?
We shouldn't, sorry?
Oh no, yeah, we're fine.
Because you had a nice gap, you know, it braked, but it didn't affect us.
No, I thought if this lane was moving into the suburb, but it wasn't.
Right, we're gaining on the white BMW in the left-hand lane, so I would kind of just keep this gap and be really observant to what's in lane 2.
So looking for a chance to move out?
That's it. Remember to get the signal on first, you know, when you kind of think you will, get the signal on first and then start doing the check, just so people know what you're thinking about doing. But don't signal unless you think you're in contention of doing it.
Well, those ones currently are as slow as that one, so there's no point really at the moment.
If you look at the grey one, it's actually passing the white one. It's actually passing slowly, but it is making more progress. See what I mean?
No, I just didn't signal at all, just like...
Oh, that one here?
Break,
Just dived in it, didn't it? Rubbish, really. Right. You see that lorry that was approaching behind us? I wouldn't now. I would use that space to go foot down, start building up that speed under your foot, and then letting the turbo really kind of put you into that gap. Also, you're only just okay in 6th gear. Can you feel the car a bit rumbly? I'd be in 5th, I would. So if you were to put your foot down, just test it temporarily for me, just pop it down. Do you see the car actually moves quite quickly? If you do that in 6th at such low speed, there's a delay. Yeah, I would. Also, what do these road markings mean? It's a good job we... It means the road could eventually just disappear off the motorway and then we end up with just 3 lanes. Because it's a small road markings, you see it actually does look.
Yeah.
So if you're inside of those small road markings, I call them, I've searched everywhere, I can't find another explanation for those road markings. If anybody knows, pop a comment in the comment section. Yeah, it means that it's veering off. Right, then after this black one, if you start getting your foot down a little bit, building up, not getting too close to the lorry though, just a fine mixture in between, signal on, don't rush the checks, nice and casual, calm, collected. Good. Yeah, keep that speed going, just looking forward.
That one was staring at me, so...
Was it?
I was thinking he was going to move across.
Okay. And now we're doing 59, 60, so I think 6th gear would be better. In this particular car, that is. They're all different, and I can't speak for others. Next thing is, what we're doing is 67. These are doing about 70ish, aren't they? So there's not going to be much benefits gained from getting in the right. Unless at 67, 68 we are gaining, in which case we might as well just use that to overtake. I'd base it on what's coming in the right. Loads of them, isn't there? So I just sort of stick here until there's an obvious clearance in lane 3 in the centre mirror. Look out for telltale signs of brake lights coming on, like dominoes. Somebody might have had a crash or a tyre blowout or something like that in front, so you could expect the whole carriageway, the whole motorway to do the same, you know. If we do, we could consider putting the hazard warning lights on. Have you heard about that before?
Yeah, just warned that there's something in front that you're slowing down.
Yeah, in newer cars, if you brake to a certain thickness, it automatically activates, and as the car perceives it as you're approaching an accident, you need to warn people. to brake really hard and the hazards have just come on. Now, thinking about that left-hand lane, a bit of gap there for a while. We're doing 61. I think we're gaining more now, so it'd be silly to move to the left. We'll end up getting boxed in, not being able to get back out. Lorry's going to move out as well in a minute. You see him getting really close. You're going to leave it till the last second and then he's going to move out. He's going to pop that signal on. He's going to move into the middle. So you start making provisions for what's in the right hand lane so that you can keep your speed going, keep your progress, if possible. Checking that right mirror as well. Just little glances, you know, not really too much of an effort checking it. Just little glances and taking in more information. Just keep that back on that gas. And you see, just before that white van, then there was a little opportunity to just get into that right, and because that traffic in lane.
Do you want me to go? Sorry.
Well, that's because we're only doing 58. We could be doing 70 potentially, because the lane 3 is now making progress. It wasn't earlier. Are you with me? So building up that speed before that, as that car passes almost, so you can latch onto the back of it. We kind of do want to be a carriage on the train in that situation, if that makes sense. That's it. That's our first good, clear-cut opportunity there. Fantastic. So hopefully now we can make better progress, get more towards 70s. Or something altogether, because it always seems to be like big batches of them together. I don't know, but it would have been silly. You were gaining on the middle lorries, weren't you, in the middle lane? It'd have been silly to move over if you didn't see yourself gaining. Different story, depending on the distance. That's it, back up to 70. We've got traffic behind and we've got to be doing our bit, you know, to keep everything flowing. After the lorry, I'd already been decided that I'd move to the left, so I signal on to let the van know. Watch your speed as you're doing it, don't worry about it, just let that ease back. And then I'd probably change to the left as well, so keep the speed going as you're doing it, keep that speed going, keep that speed going. We dropped 64, so all that good work we've done, everything could then start to overtake. And in case you were wondering, or if anybody watching the video was wondering, I'd never do 2 lane changes in one. You know, you went to the middle, cancelled the signal, checked again, and moved across again. That's definitely the right way to do it. So, signal on for the lane change. Yeah, keep the speed up, keep the speed up, keep the speed up. Checking as we're going. So we're just checking as we're driving, we're signaling as we're driving. Shouldn't really be changing anything with the driving. You see how early the planning was? That allows for that stuff. Same again, keeping the speed up. Proper progress. Otherwise we become a hazard and an obstruction and a target to get past. Same on, you know, on any driving, any road really, you've got to be doing your bit. I'd be moving in after this lorry because the gap's big enough, keeping the speed up though at the same time, signal for the car behind. And I'd keep it 70, let's decide whether it's worth moving. There's slow movers look in the left. What are lorries limited to?
60.
Yeah. So we're doing 70. It ain't going to take long to catch up. Now that's silly what that car's done. It's going to be there for about all but 3 seconds. Okay, 10. You've got to wait up really, you know, because as these lorries go downhill, if their load's full, they might pick up more speed than usual. If they're going uphill, they might slow more than usual. It's always changing, and that's why we've got to keep assessing the whole mate. It's very. That's what driving's tiring.
So all these are breaking speed limit.
Yes. Yeah, and that's going to happen. So I think as long as we keep focused on what we're doing, and try and set a good example, then that's really all we can do. It's attitude, really. They've all got skills, of course. We've not got the right attitude to project those skills, and they never will show the skills. That van's going to move out behind that lorry. Keep your speed. Oh, sorry. Felt like you were slowing down. Were you?
Definitely don't be slowing down here.
No, it's probably because that lorry's going too